Ah! The whole world's going to hell in a handbasket, man. It really is. I think I figured it out. We could go to the court. We go to the court in August. We go to the court there, and there's a sign on the door closed by Harrisburg Repeals Appeal Court wrongdoing. I find a little PDF, 135-page brief. All errors by the judge that I've had a problem with the whole time. We have. I read a few of them. I get sick. Nobody believed me. They were too busy embezzling the money and not doing their job when the place burned to the ground. My house almost burned to the ground. The tree fell on my house. Oh, by the way, it wasn't on my lot to start with. The guy for the electric company came. That tree ain't on your lot. No shit, man. I've been telling you that the whole time. They didn't pay me. But the guy that was to do it, he fixed my electric. He did a real good job at fixing the electric like he did tree care. Remember? It fell on my house. I was in the room. It was an attempt on my life. Oh, by the way, I was in Nevada. It was my job back in like 1981, through like 1984. The Thunderbirds took a nosedive in 1982. I was there. Remember? They've got planes with red, white, and blue. It's like 9/11 type deal. I worked out in Groom Lake. One end's Area 51 and the men in black that can shoot you and send you people to your family and say, "Oh, we're sorry, but he's dead. He's coming home in a pine box." The other end's the old nuclear test area. You want me there, or do you want here, or I'm sick by DNA. Do you want me to tell you where I was? Near that test area. Do you get the picture here? Do you want me to call the men in black to see if they can figure out why this state's so screwed up and why these people can't figure out when you're without power for 30 days, nobody checks on you? I have a broken back. I'm on 100% disability. Can't you morons do your job? Or are you just stealing your paycheck like Biden the moron did, like all the rest of the morons except for Trump? They're all morons. They can't do their job, really. This is an add-on. I've got another gripe to do with these guys. The guy that fixed the electric, the guy that did the investigation, made the tree get picked up, his place burned to the ground, and the guy I was having a problem with, it's the same guy that did the tree thing, that did the electric, and his place burned to the ground, the same way my house was fried. My house would have burned to the ground, everything, including like my RV, my truck, my boats, everything, about $80,000 or more of my property, plus my $1,200 house that I stayed here for 29 and a half years of rent, paid all the time except for 2 months without electricity. The guy went bankrupt and stole the money. You pay, we don't. Plus, he stole my last month's rent, my first month's rent, and this guy for like the 30 days without power, they got paid the rent that month too. They didn't even show up to check on me. Really. I'm still trying to get answers. Maybe they should just go figure out, like with the judge here, and just throw them all in Gitmo or the Gulag, like in Stalag 13. Throw them all in jail and forget about the key. They're a bunch of terrorists. Just 'cause they look like cops, they're playing kangaroo cop, I guess. Like kangaroo leader. They're a whole bunch of morons, like when they shut down the government for over 30 days. They can't do their job, but they got paid. You know, planes were falling out of the sky, everything. They can't pay the people to run the place. That's how stupid we are. Well, we're borrowing $38 trillion to run the country. It is a fucking travesty. Oh, the 2 months that the guy stole the rent for, it was without water. They deem my house is unoccupable and unrentable and unlivable. I had to go live somewhere else for 2 months. Well, I was actually not here. I had to travel to Canada and live. They literally drained the lake down for the hydro. I couldn't even get any water out of the spigots because it turned so cold they shut the water off. Literally, I was freezing to death in my RV in Canada while they were stealing like $700 or $800 worth of rent, and they didn't pay for the vehicle that was ran into by the drunken guys that work for the park. I mean, I've had 29 and a half years of hell living in this place by idiots that couldn't figure out how to do their job. Really. They're a whole bunch of idiots. And I paid rent for 29 and a half years except for 2 months. And then they stole that money too. All of it. They can't even keep the electric on right. Even after a $12,000 thing, they come down like 5, 6 hours when the race is on. The whole power's out for the whole area. It's a fucking joke to them, I guess. Really.